Okay, guys. Dude, I don't know if it's just me or what, but my legs are actually so sore from Tuesday. So, as promised, today will be a nice little stretch day. It does have kind of a core focus to it, maybe more so towards the end, but it's a little bit more about like control, orientation, balance, core stability, a lot of words all at once, but just that's kind of a reminder to make sure we're using the muscle groups that we're trying to focus on in the moment. Try not to put too much pressure on your joints. We don't want them to be sore tomorrow. We want the muscles to be a little bit sore tomorrow. Other than that, that being said, everybody just make sure you're taking your modifications. If you need them, taking breaks as you need them. Always feel free to push back, go into a forward fold or a child's pose at any point in time. I promise I won't be offended at all. If you need a modification, feel free to ask me as well. But it's kind of all the spiel that I had for today. I know my socks are dirty. Don't look at them. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started in that child's pose. If you have a watch, remember to turn it on. Taking this time to get oriented with your breathing. Become more in tune with all four corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feeling your forearms press into the mat as you slowly sink your chest further into the floor. Opening up your upper back. Finding depth through your hips. If you'd like to add a little bit more flow here, feel free to rock side to side, just adding more fluidity in your hip joints. Still breathing. Might try box breathing. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold and repeat. Whenever you're ready, feel free to turn those palms to the ceiling and slowly lift your forearms up off the mat to touch your back. Looking for a little bit more depth here. Expanding through the shoulders, through your chest. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lowering those forearms back to the mat. We're going to keep our forearms on the mat, but we're going to pick our hips up to a modified tabletop position. Shoulders over elbows this time, hips still over knees. When you're ready, we're going to lift up the left hand, bringing our fingertips to our temples and just opening up through the chest. Kind of like a half open and close here. Deep breath in, finding that length. Exhale, lowering back down. Deep breath, lift. Lifting through our core, expanding through the chest. You should be squeezing your abdominals. Pushing through your right arm. Lowering back down. One deep breath in, lifting all the way back up. Trying to increase that mobility and that stretch from the first time. Lowering back down on that exhale. Hold at the bottom. One more time, deep breath all the way up, elbow as far as you can, expanding through the chest, increasing that range of motion. One more deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and lower down, placing your forearm back on the mat. We're going to kick our left foot out to the side, keeping that pressure in your glute, squeezing your right glute here, pushing up through your right hand. This time we're going to expand all the way, lifting up that left arm all the way up. Length through those fingertips, finding a bit of a stretch all the way through your hips. Exhale, we're wrapping all the way through, threading the needle. Taking deep breaths. We're going to turn this into a bit of a flow, so one more deep breath in. We're reaching all the way back up to the ceiling, speeding things up just a little bit more. Exhale, wrapping all the way through. One more time, deep breath, reaching up. Exhale all the way through. Trying to walk your fingertips a little bit further, finding that length and that stretch. Holding here for one deep breath. Exhale, try walking your hands all the way to the right side, but you're going to lift your left arm overhead. Holding here for another deep breath in, expanding through that left side body, looking for that stretch. Exhale, hands back on the ground, walking to the left now, reaching that right hand over your head. Little bit of a stretch through your hips, through your right side body, staying strong through your glutes, squeezing your core. Deep breath in. Exhale, lowering all the way back down, walking your hands back into a tabletop position, kicking that left leg back, hips over top of your knees. For a deep breath, expanding through the chest, lifting up, finding that cat-cow position. Exhale, squeeze that core, lifting your navel all the way up to the ceiling. One more time, deep breath, chest to sky. Expanding through the belly. Exhale, squeezing through the core, pushing yourself all the way up. Last one, deep breath in, chest to ceiling. Really looking for that depth through your back. Exhale, squeezing your core, navel all the way up, pulling through your belly button, and lowering back to that neutral tabletop position. When you're ready, we're going to do alternated modified bird dogs, so lifting opposite arm, opposite leg, kicking back, squeezing through your core, through your glutes, trying to make that straight line from the tips of your fingers, top of your head, your hips to your toes. Squeeze at the very top and lower all the way down. Lifting the other side, alternating opposite arm, opposite leg. Look for that straight line, squeeze that core, and lowering all the way down. Your glutes should be active here as well as your back. The only thing you want moving is your arm and your leg. Try not to rock your hip side to side while simultaneously using your breath for every movement. On every inhale, we look for length. On every exhale, we look for depth of stretch. Really squeezing at the top for 2 more. And last one. Go ahead and lower all the way back down to your forearms now. We're taking that right hand this time around, bringing our fingertips to our temple and expanding through that chest. Deep breath in, find that length. Exhale, lower. Deep breath, lift up and lower. Using your breath here, making it work for you at a pace that's comfortable, where you find that stretch that you're looking for. Feel free to hold at the top if you're liking the stretch you're feeling. Working on increasing that range of motion. For 2 more, squeezing that core. Last one. Lowering all the way down now. We're popping that right foot out, coming all the way up onto our left arm, reaching up into the sky with our right, stretching through those fingertips. Deep breath in for 1 hold at the top. Exhale, threading all the way through. Finding that stretch through that inner thigh, shoulders, chest, neck. Keeping that flow, we're lifting all the way back up, fingertips to ceiling. Exhale, threading all the way through. Deep breath in, lifting all the way up, reaching as far back as you can. Exhale, thread through. And 1 more time, we're reaching all the way up. Exhale, threading all the way through. Looking to increase that stretch. Feel free to walk your fingertips a little bit further if you can. Holding here for 1 big deep breath in. Holding at the top. And exhale, when you're ready, we're walking our hands to the left, reaching our right arm overhead. Squeezing through your left glute, focusing on that balance, that control. Exhale, walking our hands all the way to the right, reaching over with that left hand. Finding that stretch through your inner thigh. Deep breath in. Length through your fingertips. Exhale, lowering that hand all the way back down. Finding that tabletop position. Bringing our knees under our hips. Hands stacked under our shoulders. 1 big deep breath in. You can do extended cat-cows. So inhale, hips to ground. Deep breath in. Exhale, pushing back, finding a child's pose. Inhale, lifting up, hips to floor. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, lift. Hold at the top, expanding through the belly. Exhale, squeezing the core, pushing yourself back. Last time, lifting all the way up. This time we're going to stop halfway, slowly lowering ourselves down to the stomach, pushing up through the fingertips, finding that baby cobra. Option to look over each shoulder here, finding a little bit more depth through the back. Exhale, pushing through your palms, coming all the way back up, finding that tabletop position. Curling your toes underneath of you and lifting yourself up through your hips, finding that downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet, Waking up the backs of your legs. Working on getting your ribs to touch the tops of your thighs. Pushing through the heels of your palms in your back, keeping a slight bend in those elbows. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to kick up that left leg, pointing at the ceiling, three-legged dog. Option to bend that knee here and open those hips up to the wall to your left. Holding at the top for a deep breath in. And on that exhale, we're stepping that left leg to the outside of our left palm. Slowly lowering that right knee down to the ground, lifting our arms up, finding that low lunge. Increasing that depth through your hips, trying to keep that knee stacked over that ankle. Deep breaths. Slowly letting your body know it's okay to relax and stretch. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to lean a little bit forward, squeezing through the core, pushing through your left glute. Reach your hands in front of you. Deep breath in. We're bringing our elbows back, squeezing our scapula together, lifting through that chest. Exhale, swimming forward, circling those arms. Deep breath in, elbows pinching in. Exhale, swimming arms forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach forward. Squeezing your shoulders together. Pushing through that left glute. Staying strong through your core. For one more, we're reaching all the way forward. Bring our palms together. Coming back into prayer. You can stay here, or if you'd like, adding a little bit of a twist, elbow to knee. If this is difficult for you, feel free to take that palm, bring it down to the ground, and just lift up with that left arm as well. Remembering to breathe. Finding that stretch through your hip, that twist in your spine. And if you can also lift up, lift that back leg up as well and reach for those toes. If you can't grab them, that's okay. Just reach. It's a good hamstring stretch as well as for your quad. Taking those deep breaths. Working on a stretch that works for you. Exhale, letting go of that foot. Go ahead and grab your blocks here. Option to use them. If you're at home and you don't have blocks, you don't necessarily need them. That's okay. Just going to go into that pyramid flow for a little bit, straightening out that front leg. Finding that stretch for your hamstrings. Trying to keep your hips centered to the floor beneath you, not trying to twist them. Centered to the floor beneath you and the wall in front of you. One deep breath in. If you're looking for a calf stretch, lifting those toes up, pointing them to the ceiling. Exhale, rebending that knee. One more time, deep breath in, straighten that leg. Option to point those toes if you're looking for a calf stretch. Keeping those hips straight and square. Rebending that knee. Doing this at a pace that's comfortable for you. Feeling your own stretch. Coming more in tune with your body. What feels what and where. For one more, rebend. We're lifting all the way up, squeezing through the core as we lift. Everybody's favorite. Go ahead and bring your arms right out in front of you. We're going to open that gate to that bent knee, expanding through the chest, but also focusing on that balance, keeping that core strong, and close. Opening the gate and close. Open and close. One more, opening and reaching back. If you want to get a little bit more depth here, but you're afraid of the balance, you can also bring that block back here, placing your hand, whatever setting is comfortable to you, finding that stretch through your right side body. One more deep breath in, looking for that length. Exhale, we're going to swing back to center. Go ahead and grab that block with you. You might need it. I'm going to start by showing the modification. Curling your right toes underneath of you, lifting up, finding that high lunge. From here, you're placing both hands on the blocks to either side of your left foot. For a modification, you're straightening out that front leg, lifting up your back one, and you're just going to set it down. Squeezing through the right glute, lifting and lowering. You have the option to work on a balance movement here instead. If you'd like to increase the intensity, go ahead and step back into that lunge, lower down, and when you lift, you're going to kick up, finding that warrior three. Lower to lunge, squat down, squeezing through those quads, pushing through the glute, finding your balance, and lift. Making sure you're still activating the core, whatever modification you choose to use. Finding that balance, pressing through all four corners of your left foot. For two more. And last one. We're pushing up, still squeezing through that glute. This time we're going to lower our foot all the way back, finding that very high lunge. Taking a deep breath here. Feel free to hold your arms above you if you'd like as well, whatever's comfortable to you. On your next exhale, you're going to push off with that left glute, coming all the way to the back of your mat in a standing position. Taking time, stretch out both left and right side body. Remembering to breathe. Exhale, bringing those hands down. Lifting your left foot up. Feel free to stay here in tree pose. But remember, you also have the option to kick over your front. Slowly lower down, finding that standing figure four. Pressing through all 4 points on your right foot, squeezing the mat with your toes, finding that balance, staying centered. Deep breaths. Exhale, lifting all the way back up, setting that left foot down, reaching up. Finding length through those fingertips, diving over your feet, finding that forward fold. Feel free to pedal out your knees here. One deep breath in, half lift, hinging at the hips, halfway up the shins. Exhale, bringing those arms up, finding that Y, pinching that pencil between your scapula, and lowering back down, forward fold. Taking another deep breath, half lift, hinging at those hips, squeezing those glutes, bringing those arms up, finding that Y, flat back, squeezing your scapula together, and lowering all the way back down. Doing this one more time, we're going to lift up, half lift, hinging at the hips, squeezing our glutes, lifting our arms, finding that Y, squeezing your scapula as hard as you can. Exhale, forward fold all the way. Option to pedal out those knees. This time we're going to take one deep breath in, rolling vertebra by vertebra to a standing position. Walking our feet to the outside of our mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lowering down. Bringing our palms together. Holding here. 10 more seconds. Staying strong through our quads, knees stacked over our toes. Deep breaths in. 5 more seconds. When you're ready, we're going to add a heel lift, squeezing those calves, looking for that activation. Option to add that bounce. Still squeezing through our quads. Deep breaths. For one more. Coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, forward fold. If you can't reach the ground fully here with your legs wider on the mat, feel free to grab one of those blocks for some additional height. Whatever is comfortable for you. Once you've made it down into that forward fold position, we're lifting up our right arm, fingertips to the ceiling, taking those deep breaths. And turning it into a flow, lowering that right arm down, and lift. Length through those fingertips, inhale, hold at the top, exhale, lower, and hold. Lift, hold, lower, hold. One more time, lift, hold, and lower. All the way down. Go ahead and move that block out of the way if you had it previously. We're going to walk our hands a little bit forward, finding that downward dog, stepping our feet back to the center of the mat. Deep breath. This time, we're going to kick our left foot up again, finding that three-legged dog, but we're going to bring our knee to our chest and slowly lower down, coming all the way into a pigeon pose. Making sure we're not rocking our hips here. We want them centered to the ground beneath of us. Finding that stretch, prioritizing the quality over the quantity here. If you're looking to increase that intensity, feel free to walk those hands forward. Breathing here, noticing that stretch through the left hip. Anybody else just notice the music change? That was wild. Okay, anyways. Still stretching here. Ignoring the music. Taking those deep breaths. On your next exhale, we're lifting our hands back up, walking into a high plank position, heels of our palms under our shoulders, curling the right toe under, kicking back, high plank. Exhale, lowering knees to the mat. Holding here, staying strong through your cores. We're going to alternate lifting one leg. Finding a nice stretch through your hamstrings and for your hips. Squeezing your glutes, squeezing your core. One more deep breath in. Last time, lifting that leg. We're going to keep it lifted, but we're also going to lower down, finding that push-up position and coming all the way back up. Alternating lifting the other leg, lower, and pushing all the way back up. Lift, lower on that inhale, pushing up on that exhale, keeping those elbows close to you, strong through the core, pushing up through the chest for one more. Go ahead and lower that leg all the way back down and push back, finding that child's pose. Taking a moment to roll out your wrists, rock your hips side to side. One more deep breath in. On that exhale, we're pushing up, finding that tabletop position again, curling our toes underneath of us, lifting up through the navel, finding height through the pelvis, finding that downward dog. Pedaling out those feet. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we're lifting up that right leg. Feel free to stay here in that three-legged dog or bend that knee and tilt your hips to the right. Holding at the top for another deep breath. When you're ready, we're stepping that right foot to the outside of our right palm, slowly lowering that back knee all the way down to the ground, adjusting your hips here to that low lunge. Deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to lift our arms up, reaching in front of us. Deep breath in, pinching our elbows together. Exhale, swooping forward. Deep breath in, lifting, pushing through that glute. Exhale, swimming forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, swoop. Doing this at a pace that's comfortable for you so that you are feeling your own muscles activate, your own stretch. Staying strong through your right glute. For one more, squeezing back. This time as we lift forward, bring our hands to prayer. Option to stay here or take that twist. Remembering that modification, if you'd like, putting that hand down on the ground, lifting that right arm up. Whatever is comfortable for you. Whatever helps you feel that stretch. One more deep breath in. Option to lift up, lifting that back leg and reaching back for that foot. Finding that quad stretch. One more deep breath in. Exhale, letting go of that foot. Bring your hands in front of you. Sorry, the music. Go ahead and open up the gate. Expanding through your chest. Increasing that range of motion. Closing it again. Deep breath in, opening the gate, looking for that length. Exhale, close. Deep breath open. Exhale, close. One more time, deep breath open and reaching all the way back. Remembering to take those breaths. When you're ready, we're coming all the way back to center. Feel free to grab those blocks. Take that modification if you'd like. Entering the Warrior 3 modification. Curl the toes behind you underneath. Lift up, find that high lunge. Feel free to step all the way forward. Lifting that left leg, squeezing through the left glute. Option to challenge yourself with that balance, coming all the way down into that lunge. You might find that one side has better balance than the other. It's okay. Keep that noted. As you press through all four corners of your right foot, for 2 more. And last one. This time we're coming all the way up to a high lunge, but we're going to step all the way back to the end of our mat, reaching up above, finding length through those fingertips. Little side bends. And on the exhale, we're diving all the way forward, finding that forward fold. Deep breath in. Exhale, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, reaching our hands in the air. Exhale, lowering our fingers down, bring our hands to prayer, slowly slumping into that chair pose. Holding here. Should feel an activation through your quads, through your glutes. Try not to hollow out that back. Keep your chest lifted. One more deep breath in. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Exhale, lifting back up. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Lifting back up. Squeezing through your glutes. Trying to keep your knees even with each other. For one more. Lifting all the way back up. Stepping your feet to the outside of your mat. Deep breath in. And folding forward over your feet. Option to grab that block if you're running into some issues with your height here. One more deep breath in. Go ahead and lift that left arm all the way up to the ceiling, finding length through your fingertips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lowering that hand down. Deep breath, lift. Length through the fingertips. Lower all the way back down. For 2 more, go ahead and lift. And lower. Last one, lift. And lower. Planting both hands on the ground. Finding a slight bend through your knee. We're lowering all the way into that yogi squat. If this is difficult for you, feel free to lean all the way forward on the palms of your hands and slowly work towards getting both heels on the ground. Or option to place that block underneath of you for additional support. Whatever works for you. However you can feel that stretch. One more big deep breath in. Exhale, we're lowering all the way onto our glutes. Taking those deep breaths. Bringing our legs wide on the mat. Fingertips to our temples. We're just going to take turns leaning side to side here, waking up that core. Should feel each side of your core activate every time you lean. If you're leaning to the left, you should feel your core activate on the right. Making sure you're squeezing. For one more, leaning down, lifting back up, sending your arms behind you, interlace. Lifting your chest up to the ceiling, rolling out your neck. One more deep breath in. Exhale, letting go with those hands. Bring our feet up, scooting our glutes towards our heels. Go ahead and lower all the way down, making sure you have that block handy. And enter the core segment for today. Go ahead and pick your block up, lift it over your head. Bring your knees into an inverted tabletop position. Place your block on top of your shins and extend your legs outward, bringing your hands above your head again. Lifting your legs up, grab that block, and lift it over your head, extending your legs out again. Same thing, block on shins. You can do this without a block too. Making sure you're squeezing your core. The goal is to make sure there's no space between your lower back and the mat. Slow and in control. For 2 more. Last one. Grabbing that block, putting it to the side, lowering your heels directly behind your glutes. Closing the space between your lower back and the mat, tilting your pelvic floor up and in. You're going to press through the heels of your feet, squeeze your glutes, lifting all the way up, finding a glute bridge. Trying to lift your hips as high as you can. Deep breath. Holding here. When you're ready, we're going to alternate kicking each leg out and lowering down, squeezing those glutes. Trying to keep those hips lifted. For 2 more. Last one. Lowering your hips all the way back to the floor. Go ahead and grab your block one last time. Bring it up over your head. Kick your feet all the way up as well. Alternate dropping one leg and bringing your block to your shin. Lift up and lower. At a pace that's comfortable for you so that you can feel your core squeezing. Last one. Keeping your block lifted, you're going to circle out your feet. That doesn't make sense. Feel free to just watch. You're going to kick your feet in front of you and circle them all the way back up. Bend your knees, lower your feet down, and circle them all the way back up. Staying strong through the core here. It's the last one, I promise. Using your breath, making it work for you. Squeeze that core. Last one. Go ahead and lower your feet all the way to the mat. Drop that block to your side. Take a deep breath here. Option to grab those knees, hug it out. When you're ready, we're dropping those feet back down to the floor. Lifting up your right leg, hooking it over top of your left thigh. Feel free to stay here if this stretch is enough for you. Or option to bring that leg all the way up, grabbing onto your left hamstring or shin and rock it out. One more deep breath in. Sending your hands to either side of your body, gently letting your hips fall to the left. Trying to keep both shoulders planted on the floor. Another deep breath in, coming all the way back up to center. Unhook your right leg, lift your left, hook it over your right. Option to stay here or bring that leg in closer to you. Feel free to rock it out side to side. When you're ready, go ahead and let those hips fall all the way to the right. Both shoulders staying on the ground. Holding for another deep breath. Exhale, coming all the way back up to center. Unhook that left leg. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees falling to either side of your body. One hand over your heart, the other over your stomach. Going to meet here for our last few breaths of class today. Taking this time to set your intentions for today, letting go of any tension or stress built up throughout the day. Becoming centered with your body, bringing awareness to all four corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. So you slowly allow yourself to sink further and further into the floor. Paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest. You might try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold and repeat. Slowly allowing yourself to fully relax. Taking a full brain scan. That's going to bring us to the end of today's class. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next week on Tuesday.